What's up, caregiving family? This is Candace from OurFTDJourney. So first, let me apologize in advance because it is raining here and I am sitting in my vehicle doing this video just because I had to go out, and I thought, you know what, let me go ahead and do this while I have some quiet time. So anyway, I think tonight I'm going to talk about patience. Because we covered, 2 days of lowering your expectations. And it's not like I can't speak more on that, but if y'all have any more questions on that topic, you're welcome to bring them, or comments or whatever. But for now, I want to talk about patience. There's a saying that patience is a virtue. And patience is something that you definitely have to have a lot of or develop when you're caring for somebody with dementia. Because they become slower at doing things. Speaking, getting dressed, bathing, brushing their teeth. Everything takes a lot more effort because their brain is fighting to survive. And I think as caregivers, we forget that because we're so used to our loved ones just, knowing how to brush their teeth and knowing how to bathe themselves and knowing how to toilet themselves. But we don't take into consideration that dementia is brain failure. Their brain is dying. And so when we get impatient, we have to think about that, right? For us, it's like, oh, why can't you just brush your teeth? It's so easy. But there's so many steps to brushing your teeth. Just brushing your teeth alone, right? You have to get the correct toothbrush. If there's multiple toothbrushes, you got to pick out which is yours. You got to wet the brush. You got to put toothpaste on the brush. You got to, brush your teeth, and you got to do the right side or the left side or the right side or however you want to do it, and then you got to spit the toothpaste out. You got to rinse your mouth out with water. You got to use mouthwash. There's so many steps that we don't take into consideration, and they will misorder the steps or just forget them altogether. And and that goes for anything. And the one thing that we have to remind ourselves is, okay, my loved one's brain is dying. They just are losing their ability or are much slower. My mom now, because she's late stage, when I feed her, it can take half hour, 45 minutes, an hour. Which I don't really too much mind because I like that time with her. Because it's kind of a bonding time. It's like she's looking at me, I'm looking at her, she's smiling at me, I'm smiling at her, she's talking to me, and she doesn't say many words, but for me, feeding her is a bonding time, so I enjoy that. And for me, I went to caregiving with the mindset that I want to be a better mom to my mom than she was to me. Not sure if that makes any sense. And when I was growing up, like I've mentioned several times, my mom was bipolar. She didn't always have patience for me. She wanted to do what she wanted to do when she wanted to do it. And if I wasn't, ready, or I was moving too slow, she would get upset with me. There are days when I'm feeding her, I think, okay, can we just move this a little quicker? But I never say, hurry up. Because the whole dynamic of feeding her has even changed, that having to prop her up properly so she's not slouching or laying back, or making sure she's sitting upright so she's not choking on food or choking on her drink. I realize there's so much involved with feeding her now. It's amazing. You know, it was like when I first had to start feeding her, it was I would just put the spoon or fork to her mouth and that was it. Now I'm having to deal with, okay, I'm getting food to her mouth, but it's not always getting in her mouth, and then it's dropping and spilling, and sometimes I'm like, ugh, you know, but then I have to remind myself, okay, like, she's late stage. Be thankful of the fact that she's still eating, you know. So, another frustrating stage was when the incontinence started. Trying to get her and her pull-ups in the beginning was a challenge. But over time, you know, now she doesn't care. But, you know, patience is everything. Like, the way I look at it is, if the shoe was on the other foot, I would not want to be rushed. And so we should not be rushing them. Let them take their time. If you have to take them to, say, a doctor's appointment. Say your appointment is 10 o'clock in the morning for your loved one. Then you might want to get them up at like 8 o'clock, 8:30, so they have time to get up and eat and bathe and get dressed and, you know, all that kind of stuff. Because even if in the early stages it doesn't take a lot of time, it's for them to do that. It still might take time to get out the door, right? Because then depending on when you told them about their appointment, they'll be like, oh, where are we going? Why do I have to go? And I'm fine. I don't need a doctor, you know, all this stuff. And so just like literally getting out the door, getting a jacket on them or, you know, whatever. And, you know, there were times when my mom would argue with me getting out the door, telling me she didn't need a jacket and it was 20 degrees out. Yes, Mom, you need a jacket. You know, so, you know, that would be a fight. And it's like, okay, I've just had to learn patience. And the funny thing about patience, though, is like, I have all the patience in the world for her now, most days. But I am very less patient and tolerant of other people. And I don't know if that's just because I'm, you know, caregiving and it just takes up so much of my energy and my time and patience. Or if it's just I'm less tolerant of people. I don't really know. I kind of think it might be a little bit of both. And yeah, patience is important. Like, you know, when you're upset because your loved one won't do what you tell them or ask them, or they're repeating themselves, or whatever your situation is that you're currently dealing with right now, think about how would I want them to respond to me. Would I want to be yelled at? Would I want to be cussed at? Would I want, you know, people getting upset with me? Like, how would I feel? And I think if we can put ourselves in their shoes and realize that not only are they struggling because, you know, their brain is dying, but I'm sure they're scared. You know, I mean, how scary must it be? You know, you've spent your life doing things for yourself and creating memories and all sorts of stuff, right? And then one day all of a sudden it just, boom, disappears on you. That's gotta be so frustrating, so maddening, you know, like, for your brain to erase all your memories that you've spent a lifetime developing. I don't know, it just doesn't seem fair. Anyway, so yeah, that's what I have to say for now. Like, share, subscribe, leave a comment. You know, I'll answer comments, any questions, or whatever, what have you. And I hope you all have a good night. And I will be back tomorrow. Today was part 5. I'll be back tomorrow with part 6. Have a good one.